Alright, baby. Let's ride. Well, it's finally November. Yeah, finally November, man. I can't believe it. Just one more month after this one, and it'll finally be the end of the year. It'll finally be 19. What? 19? Finally be 2019. There, yeah, 19. Still haven't quite decided yet on what I'll be getting though. Quite excited, but still haven't decided whether I'll be getting a Honda Rebel 500 or a Kawasaki Vulcan S. Although as I had mentioned in my previous video, you will recall that the Rebel 500 was currently the favorite. It was a little bit ahead of the Kawasaki Vulcan S. Not by much though, not by much. By 1 point in fact, as per the comparison that I made, you will recall in the previous video. So, still anybody's game, so to speak, as to what I'll eventually decide on in the end. Not that I had the money for it though. At the moment, not quite there yet, unfortunately. Yeah, I was still a little bit short. Budget-wise, that is. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? I just might end up opting to forego buying a new bike until the middle of next year. But as I had mentioned, we'll see. I'll make another video and talk about what I'll decide come the end of the year. And now for a little bit of news, which was really the point of this here video entry of mine. Well, it's news to me at least. I mean, you might have heard of it already, but to me it was somewhat of new news, which I must confess was rather fortuitous, as I was sorely lacking of a topic to talk about at the moment. But I still wanted to make a motovlog video. Yeah, at least one more video entry for this week. And with this little bit of news, I was able to do just that. So here we are. The other night, I headed on over to my usual tambay spot at my usual hangout place, Petron Doña Soledad, you will recall, to meet up and of course hang out with a couple of my bike buddies, a couple of my friends. I was somewhat pleasantly surprised to see that Ben, another friend of ours, but one that didn't really hang out with us all that often, I was surprised to see that Ben was also there. He didn't stay long though. He had somewhere else to go, I think. But he stayed long enough to mention that he was back to using his Harley as his commuter ride. He had a Harley Street 750, I think. I think it was, yeah. I think that's the model name of the bike. Yeah, well, anyways, he had been intending on selling that bike, but now he was back to using it as he had returned the Kawasaki Bajaj Dominar 400 that he had acquired a month or so ago. In addition to the cheap price tag of that bike, the main reason he had bought the bike in the first place was that it was supposed to be expressway legal. Well, it was advertised as such at least, but the truth of the matter, of course, was that the Dominar 400 was rather far from being a 400cc motorcycle. what with its 370 to 375cc engine. I forget exactly what or which. I guess Kawasaki was unable to have the bike registered at LTO as a 400cc bike after all. There was hopes, there was talk that maybe, just maybe, a Dominar 400 will be registered as a 400cc bike, but I guess that didn't push through. Now, if you search YouTube, you will find motovlog videos showing the Dominar 400 being able to enter and travel the expressways like S-Lex, Skyway, M-Lex and such, proving that the bike was indeed expressway legal. But now it seemed that the expressway operators had decided that that wasn't the case after all, and that the Dominar 400 was no longer allowed in the expressways. At least that's what I got from what Ben told us. At first, he was able to use the bike on the expressway, on S-Lex, but now I guess he wasn't able to anymore. So, he returned the bike. You can tell he was really disappointed. I mean, he really liked that bike, man. Too bad. Which was all rather strange and maybe even a little bit infuriating, particularly if you happen to have the bike or you happen to like the Dominar 400. I guess it's rather strange when you think about it. I mean, the Dominar 400 had basically the same engine and displacement as the KTM Juke 390. But the Juke 390, last I heard, was still expressway legal. But now the Dominar 400 wasn't. Yeah, very strange. I guess it all came down to backing and clout and influence and all that. I mean, KTM Philippines is operated by Ayala, and with that money and influence backing the bike, I guess it should come as no surprise that they had little difficulty registering it as a 400cc bike. Yeah. Well, that's politics for you, man. You know what they say, money talks and all that. And boy, does it talk. Man, traffic this morning was quite terrible for some reason, as you can very well see here in this video. And more so than usual. Don't know why. Dang. Well, what can you do but push on through, right? Yeah. So, back to the old strategy. Filter, filter, filter and all that. Yeah. I'm just glad that I decided to take my RS150 today instead of my other bike, my bigger bike, my Z250SL. Cause man, having to use that bike through this traffic, I mean I've done it before, but it's not something that, well, it's not something that I look forward to. That bike is really more for light traffic where you can really go fast and really enjoy the performance of the bike. Yeah. Well, that's it for now. Until next time, keep on riding on, baby!